sending an email. Seems pretty simple, right? Well, when it comes to business emails, it's a little trickier than you think to get the click-through rates, the open rates, the response rates that you need in order to make email marketing effective for your business. And so today I'm going to walk you through how to use an email template in Mailchimp to create your newsletter emails and walk you through all the sending pieces of it so that you create great subject lines, you know when to send them, what days, what times, depending on your business, and really cool features built into Mailchimp that makes that a lot easier for you. So grab your coffee and let's get started. So we are going to start on the templates page. How you get here is you have your left hand navigation and you just click on email templates, brings you right here. And I am in my saved templates. So I am starting after you've created your template design. If you want to know how to create a template, in the description there is a link to that video where I walk you through the ins and outs and the whys of creating the template. So I'm going to assume that is all done and we are actually going to use that template now to create an email newsletter. So you come over here to the right hand side for the template that you want to use and then click on that down arrow key and click create a template, and then it's going to actually open it up in the editor as a copy of that template. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is name it. And so mine is going to be, this is an internal name, right? So something that it's going to resonate with you to remember what it was. So I'm calling mine Canva GIF Creation Video. I'm going to click Save. Now you want to add your recipients and choose your audience. If you have multiple audiences, this is really important so that it's going to the right group of people. I'm going to do all subscribers, and I'm not going to personalize here. Now it's going to automatically know based off of that audience who it's from, which is this email address. And I'm playing with adding additional information in that name field that shows up. That way it can be distinguished from me versus other Audreys that they know. And the email address would stay the same. Subject line, here's where things get important. So you want to create a subject line that is going to get them to open the email. And so what I like to do is I like to use the same subject as close as possible to what's actually in the email. So there's continuity from when they see the subject to what they see inside the copy. You don't want to have one subject and then they can't find what they're looking for related to that subject. So because I am going to be sharing my animated GIF in Canva video, I'm just going to grab that and copy and paste it here. So this is a really great feature of Mailchimp. If you didn't watch the Mailchimp for Beginners video, I go over why this is so important. So this right here, it's telling me short and sweet, emojis but I have an issue here. Space is limited. You want to keep your character count below 60. So mine is too large. So I'm going to play with this a little bit. And that was it. I just took out the Pro in Canva Pro because that is spoken to in the video. And then a little bit of preview text. Depending on how the person's inbox is set up, this is what shows up underneath of the subject, just to give them a teaser. Here, just giving a little bit, it's easier than you think because I know that animated GIFs are a little bit of a mystery to people. And then check out the video lets them know that it's actually video-based content and not an article. Again, I'm good here. I'm in all the green here. I'm going to hit save. Okay, now we get to editing the design. Okay, so here is my template. I actually created this in that first video on designing your template. So if you've watched that, should look familiar here. Now I'm just going to copy and swap and paste things out. So first things first, I want to swap out my video. So I'm going to come in here, and the Mailchimp beginner walkthrough video link is in here. So I'm going to come back here, and I am going to grab my video link. And then I'm just going to replace the one that's there. And you can see it pulled in my thumbnail. And then I need to replace the copy. So in the video, I actually wrote a description, and I'm actually going to reuse that description. Again, that's for continuity. What I want is when they click through to read it, if they click through to the description, it's going to feel the same. So the imagery is the same, the language is the same. I'm going to make this just a tad bit larger. Feels a little small to me. That was exactly the same. There we go. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to hit save and close. And then my next section is my related podcast episodes with a personalization piece to it. So it's going to put the person's first name in here as a call to action. Click on the image to listen. So I'm going to swap these out so that they are relevant to what this particular video is about. Additional information, additional support. So I click on edit, and this is a 2-box image. So now I'm just going to replace my images, and through the magic of video, mine are already uploaded and formatted. You will need to probably come in here and upload your images via the upload button, but I did it ahead of time. And then I'm going to change the other one. So one is related to Canva, the other is related to Mailchimp continuity. If I had other episodes I wanted to share that were more relevant or applicable, I absolutely would. And then the next important thing is to change the links, right? So these images are actually buttons, right? In my mind, you click on them and it takes you to where you need to go. So I went to my podcast page on my website, I grabbed the link, and then I'm going to remove what's here and paste the new link in so that it's going to the right one. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the second episode. Okay, those are in there, and now I'm coming down to the third section, which is tools mentioned in the video and the podcast. I like to try to keep this to 2 for my personal preferences. I talk about Canva, I talk about Mailchimp, I also talk about WordPress and Elementor Pro, but I think, so I could add the Elementor Pro link in here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it to these 2. Just from a visual perspective. That is a preference. If you feel strongly that you need to have additional links in a particular area, keep them in even numbers from a design perspective. So if you feel like you need to add that third, find a 4th to add as well. Or stack them as opposed to doing side by side so that a list of 3 looks better. Okay, so this email from my perspective at this moment in time is ready to go, but I want to check it. I want to make sure everything is right. So we go into preview mode, and I like checking it on desktop And you can see here that it says test first name. I like to look at it with the live merge tag enabled just to make sure it's what I want. That looks good. Now I like looking at it on mobile, make sure everything is good there. Alrighty. And then one last thing I normally do is I send a test email to myself just to see how everything is looking and working in the email browser, that my subject is okay, that teaser text I put underneath looks all right. And then I also like to look at the link checker just to make sure that all my links are right. And more importantly, that no links are missing. Sometimes when you swap things out, you forget to change a link, especially because you're using a template. So this one is pretty invaluable. So now that I have done all of that, I am ready to schedule this. Now you can send it out as soon as you're done, but I do recommend that you schedule it. Scheduling is part of the paid campaigns, and I think it's worth every cent. So let's talk a little bit about best days and times to send, because there is statistical data that says that if you send on specific days and times, depending on what you're sending, you're going to get better open rates and you're going to get better click-through rates. So on my list here, you can screen grab this, reuse it as you need to. B2B, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. That's kind of when people in business check their email, and they're willing to take action on businessy things more often, like clicking through and doing things on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the beginning of their week, before things have gone haywire, before they've just kind of gotten a little tired. As business owners, we know what that feels like. Non-for-profits, a little bit different. Tuesday, Thursdays are the best days there, and then between 3 and 4 p.m. Business to consumer in general, especially brick and mortar, is Thursday, Fridays between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Because people are gearing up for the weekend and they start thinking about the weekend. E-commerce, where you're ordering things and having them delivered to you, slightly different. They're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between either 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. So we're thinking people are at work, checking emails, both personal and professional, maybe shopping a little bit, but they want to order on those days so that it typically shows up by the weekend, because normal delivery times for most e-commerce retailers are there. So B2C or e-commerce, you're really going to have to pay attention to the products that you're selling and how people are using them. So if it's a consumable, yeah, they want it by the weekend. But if it's a long-term purchase, like workout equipment, right, and it's going to take longer than 3 days to deliver, you might want to go that Thursday, Friday route. And then overall, in general, if you're not quite sure if you fit into any of those buckets, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., you can't go wrong. Now, these are generalized settings. What's cool about the scheduler and why I think it's worth its weight in gold is you're going to pick your day, right? So for me, I am B2B. Wednesdays are typically my best days. I'm going to send that one out here. And then I set it up for send time optimized. I want Mailchimp, based off of previous sends and previous opens, to tell me the best time. And this is what I think is great, because you can do the right day. Like for me, Wednesdays just seem to be the best day based off of research data and what I see as my open rates. And then I let Mailchimp pick the best time based off of what my specific audience has been doing. So this is where that's really, really valuable. And then send with time warp is where if you have people in different time zones, it's doing it based off of their time zone. So if all of your people are in the same time zone, I wouldn't worry about that too much. Mine is a national audience, and so they're kind of all over the place. But in general, this seems to work. And then I click schedule, and I'm done. And that is ready to go out. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, I strongly suggest click on the link in the show notes to get Mailchimp if you don't have it already. Definitely go through our beginner series if you're not familiar with email marketing systems, the template review and creation video is a great one too, so that you can get to this point where you're actually sending emails.